Hello, welcome. In this lecture, we're going to cover Article 22, that is from Right for Freedom. All right, we have covered these starting from 19, then we discussed 20, we discussed 21, we discussed 21A, and now we're discussing Article 22. So we'll take this up. Along with that, we'll also take Article 23 and 24, which are providing right against exploitation. So in this lecture, we'll be covering up these three articles in a detailed manner. Let's get started. The first thing that we have is understanding Article 22, which is dealing with protection against arrest and detention. Now, this is a very important article for various reasons. The first thing that you need to understand here is, one second. All right. The first thing that you need to understand here is it's providing protection against arrest and detention. Now, detention is of two types. All right. We'll discuss both of them and we'll understand what's the difference. First is punitive, the second is preventative. Difference here is that you see, you commit a crime. All right. You commit a crime, you undergo the trial. All right. And then after the trial, there is what? There is conviction by the court. Is this clear? This is the usual process. All right. This is how you understand punitive detention. So the punishment that you would be awarded with would be understood as punitive detention. Now, on the other hand, there is preventive detention. Now, preventive detention, as the word itself is suggesting, it's preventing. What happens here is that the none of this basically happens. Okay, none of this happens. What instead happens is that here the purpose is not to punish. Purpose is not to punish. On the other hand, here the purpose is to what? The purpose is to punish. Why? Because the person has committed a crime, has undergone the trial, and then there's a finally conviction by the court. Okay. On the other hand, under preventive, there is no purpose to punish. Here, a person without trial, without conviction of the court is prevented, basically, is prevented from committing a crime. Committing a crime. Is this clear? So, what is he prevented from? He's prevented so that, let me explain this in very simple language. I'm simply saying that under the first case, the person has committed the crime and everything. On the other hand, here what's happening, that you're stopping the person from committing a crime that he could if he's not if he's free. Okay, so in this case we are taking him in so that he doesn't commit a crime in the future. Is this clear? So this is, as a result, the name suggests this is preventive. This is a precautionary measure. Okay, this is simply based on suspicion that I somehow think. Let me explain this to you with an example. Here is this A person. This A person has committed the crime, all right, and then on the basis of that crime, the court has awarded him punishment, right? This is the situation with the A person. Now, this B person is somebody who has not committed the crime. Our aim here is not to punish him. Our aim is only to what? To prevent him from doing something in the future. All right. So this is a precautionary measure. This is simply based on suspicion. Suspicion in the sense that this B person is quite capable of doing something like this. In order to stop him, we'll bring in what? We'll bring in preventive detention. Is this clear? Very important thing. You can only understand Article 22 if you clearly understand the difference between punitive and preventive detention. Now, when we talk about Article 22, it's dealing with two provisions. The first provision is in case of ordinary law. The second is in case of preventive detention law.